The Secretary General of the UN, in his strategy on new technologies, has called for an embrace of these technologies in a manner that is transparent, in a manner that is inclusive, that includes everyone, and that is based on global norms. So that is based on the UN Charter and on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and in partnership with a range of different actors. With a view to this, he's called for the development of a digital toolkit.
If we think about it in the world at the moment, I think the estimate at the end of last year of how many people were on the internet was 3.9 billion. And of those, some 2.77 billion are using social media. So this is an extraordinary amount of people. The process of mediation is in some ways quite reassuring because the principles of mediation have been probably the same for hundreds of thousands of years. It's a very human, intense process. It involves people and it involves building trust. However, in recent years, the proliferation of new technologies and the rapid emergence of a variety of new technologies is certainly changing the field of mediation. And I think we have to be very humble and recognize that this is a fast-moving field.
Traditionally, before information technology was so dominant, there was a space within the walls that was absolutely distinct from the space beyond the walls. I think thanks to instant messaging, thanks to a range of sort of confidential communication tools and mass communication tools, it's now essentially impossible to keep that barrier between those who are in and those who are out. I think there's also, an issue with the floors, which is that there is through information technology, a sort of democratization of the political space.
The Digital Toolkit obviously responds to the vast expansion of new technologies in the field of mediation and in the armed conflicts on which we work.
From Twitter to the internet, there are forms of cohesion which simply have to be, or vehicles for creating cohesion, which simply have to be engaged with if you are to bring a constituency that can make an agreement.
What the toolkit does is, drawing on the survey and other research and expert consultations and consultations with practitioners, is the toolkit seeks to look at the different ways in which mediators might engage these technologies. It looks at the risks and the opportunities at different stages of the mediation process.
Processes can be more inclusive. In Libya, the Skirat agreement at the end of 2015 involved a couple dozen parties. Now the SRSG is animating a process which has consulted over 100,000 people, and that's been heavily enabled through information technology.
If you want to be on top of the social media environment that you're in, if you want to be using the social media that you might have available to you effectively for your own strategic communications, you're going to need to think about the process and the resources and the kinds of skills and practices that are available to you. There are enormous benefits and enormous possibilities that social media opens up, but there are also enormous risks in a conflict environment. And so we seek to help our mediators navigate this web and understand both.